Hi everyone, my name is Wendy Chijoke Ibekwe, and this is my birthing story. My husband Chijoke, or CJ, and I got married early 2017 in February, and soon after our honeymoon we found out that we were expecting a baby. We were really excited because on both sides of our families, this is the first grandchild, so our families are very excited. And we're really looking forward to the baby. We did our tests, we found out that we're having a boy, so we're very, very happy. I was very happy. I wanted a boy, I wanted a girl, but yeah. I had a really good pregnancy, more or less. I felt nauseous a lot of the time, but I hardly vomited. I didn't fall sick. The only thing I had around 19 weeks, I had like a round ligament pains, but nothing too painful and nothing too serious. So I went for my normal antenatal classes. Everything was normally good until one Monday in October when I went for my antenatal class and they found out that my blood pressure was very high. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was something that maybe I was just stressed in that moment. But then the doctor was really concerned because of how high it was. So she immediately insisted I be taken to the ICU for closer monitoring. This was on October 9th. I was, at that time, I had just turned 29 weeks on that day. So she insisted I was actually 28 weeks. I was about to turn 29 weeks, 28 weeks and 6 days. So I went to the ICU and they monitored my blood pressure for a while. And it just seemed to keep spiking for no reason. And so she said to me, the gynecologist said to me that they were going to have to take out the baby because the womb was no longer providing a conducive environment for the child because of the high blood pressure. So when you have high blood pressure in pregnancy, and in addition to this you have a high level of protein in your urine, it's usually considered to be pre-eclampsia. So I had high blood pressure and also high protein in my urine. Pre-eclampsia is a condition that's usually caused, from my understanding, the placenta resulting in high blood pressure in the body of the pregnant woman. And so the only way to really resolve it totally is to take out the placenta, which is in essence taking out the child. And then in addition to that, it is causing your organs to malfunction. So it starts with your kidney first providing too much protein, like basically allowing the protein in your blood to filter out through your kidney. And then if it's left unchecked, it can lead to other organs malfunctioning, like your lungs can get filled with liquid, you can get a stroke, and then even after that you can still get a seizure. That's if the preeclampsia gets to the point of eclampsia. So yeah, it's something that doctors want to manage as soon as possible and as fast as possible to avoid that happening. We noticed the baby's heart rate dipped quite low from about 160, 170 to 39, 40, and then it slowly started to rise. We saw this happen twice, and immediately the doctors just insisted that they had to call the nurses insisted we had to call the doctor. And as soon as the doctor heard, she asked that I be prepared for surgery. So just imagine me literally shouting like, I'm not ready to go to surgery, I'm not taking my baby out, and they're putting like a catheter, putting oxygen in my nose, putting a cannula in my hand, giving me injections, shaving my body, everything was just happening at once. And I was there shouting, I'm not ready, don't do this. It was it's maybe funny now, but at the time it was just really frightening. And I remember sleeping, and the next day I woke up thinking I'd felt a kick in my stomach, so I thought it was just a nightmare. And then I realized it wasn't, it had actually happened. I didn't have a baby in my stomach anymore. I was so crushed. So I quickly went to see the baby in the nursery ICU. The baby had come out, he was only 1.08 kg, which is incredibly small, especially at that time. So I was really scared going in, just worried about what I was going to see, how he was going to be. And he looked really tiny. It was very scary because he had so many tubes attached to him and so many bandages and just things all over. And it's just not how you ever dream of meeting your child for the first time. Every day we were just living by faith and by grace and just praying that today he'll be fine and he'll make it through today until tomorrow. So those were our worries. And so as well, I was hospitalized for a little over 6 weeks. So because of the blood pressure, because it didn't go down immediately after, and the doctors didn't want me to leave until we had the blood pressure stabilized. So just imagine trying to keep your blood pressure under control and then dealing with something this frightening. It was a nightmare. I was constantly crying and just praying. And something I would say to anyone going through this NICU journey is just you really need to arm yourself with as much information as you possibly can. We were very lucky, very blessed, because Kaito didn't have any complications. Kaito is our son. He didn't have any complications. He was just small. So he had to be on CPAP and then oxygen. But then he was off those quite quickly and breathing by himself. He didn't have a lot of the challenges that preterms normally have. There was no need for a transfusion or any of the real issues that they have, or NEC or challenges with their intestines. He was just good. But every moment you're worried about infections, you're worried about some complication or the other. But God really favored us. We didn't have that challenge. So we were essentially just waiting for him to grow to a weight where we could take him home and manage him ourselves. In the hospital, you can't take children out of the incubator. The policies can't take children out of the incubator until they're 2 kilograms. And it's unbelievable to think that it took us 65 days, almost about 63 days or so, for him to get an additional kilogram from when he was born at 108, and then we didn't leave the hospital until he was a little bit over 2 kilograms, which took us 65 days in total. Just that entire process is such a journey, and anyone that's going through it, God, I see you, I see you, because it's not easy at all. Just the uncertainty of everything, the constant anxiety, the worry, the fear, the guilt, thinking you could have done something to keep the baby in you for longer. Truth of the matter is that it is what it is. It has happened. And it has nothing to do with you. That's the truth. The baby wanted to come out at this particular time, and I always say to myself, maybe we're the ones that think that these babies are coming early. Maybe this is the right time for the child to come. It's just because you're expecting a child at a different time. So much guilt. Please don't beat yourself up for it. I think that most people do the very best that they can in pregnancy and just hope for the very best as well. So that it's happened, it's not your fault. And it's just to spend all your time doing as much as you can for your own mental health and your peace of mind, so that you can truly support your child in the way that he needs to be supported. You need to be whole mentally. You need to be at a place where you can actually give your child the support, the prayers, the dedication that you need. And you need to be mentally whole so that you can actually get the breast milk that the child usually needs. The big thing I would say is to have a really good support system. If you have a husband or a partner, that's really important. I think that people tend to grieve separately, but then in this type of instance, who understands the situation better than your partner? Because it's both of you going through this thing. Sometimes people think that it's mainly the woman because she carried the child, and then the child has now the child has had to be brought out early. But then it's exactly the same fear that the partner is facing as well. Both of you had a certain expectation. You had a certain time. You had certain expectation for what it would be like the first time you meet your child, what your child would look like, and you don't get that for reasons out of your control. Don't antagonize each other. Just try to be a team as much as possible, because your baby needs both of you. Your baby needs both of you to support. There are days where the mother is low and the father is the one that's supporting, or the father is the one that is able to pull through for the baby. So you really need the team support. It's so important. and then just additional maybe family or friends. Although I think for me it took a while for me to actually open up to people and to explain or to say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, just because I really needed time to process and just come to terms with it myself. So if you're in that position, please take all the time you need. You don't owe anybody anything. Whatever it takes for you to be whole and to have peace of mind, I think that's what you should focus on first. So a lot of my friends were really helpful, including Dr. Ada. Really gave me some encouragement and just told me, like, look, things are going to work out okay. And it's weird because doctors can never really tell you that, oh, the baby will be fine or this or that, but then whenever the diagnosis is hopeful, they help you to actually see the hope and just encourage you to keep going on. So I owe Dr. Ada for that. Kaito didn't have any long-term damage. She doesn't have any long-term damage. She doesn't have any issues with his brain or his heart. So we're very thankful for that. We're really grateful to God. And yeah, we just put everything in God's hands. I mean, taking everything day by day. My baby is such a gift to our lives. I can't imagine not having him. I feel so lucky and so blessed that he's a part of our lives. It's amazing. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to my birth story. I hope it helps someone. And I'm always available to talk for any moms who are in a similar position or just want to share stories, swap ideas, or just get a little encouragement. I'm here always. So thank you. Bye now.